Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Star Wars Wednesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Star Wars The Black Series, Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary, Darth Vader. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here we have the Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary logo, 4-and-up, and assortment numbers. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. Star Wars Return of the Jedi, and that nice classic Kenner cardback artwork is very, very nice. Nice blister showcasing the figure and accessories. Then really on the side, nothing but a view of the blister, the bottom as well, and the top. On the back, we have Star Wars, the Black Series, and then Star Wars in the nice classic lines there. Here's the Cross Sale, Rebel Commando, Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight, Darth Vader, which of course is this figure, Emperor's Royal Guard, and R2-D2. Commemorate the 40th anniversary of Star Wars Return of the Jedi with figures from the Black Series featuring classic design and packaging. And then here we have, attention! Especially don't stick things in your French pie hole. Warning, attention, Octoon, don't stick things in any other language pie hole that don't belong there. Don't give it to babies. Each sold separately, subject to availability, includes figure and 4 accessories. Small, fine, legalese made in China print. Symbols I'm not going to learn, a barcode, Disney print, and Hasbro print. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And here we have handy dandy tweezers. Let's start with the accessories. And here we have his alternate forearm. At least, and you can see it's got a nice big port in there and some paint apps here where the hand is severed off during his battle with Luke. And we'll get to how that works in just a minute. Here we have the helmet. And it's, pretty standard Darth Vader helmet. And then you can see it's got some imprints there and a port, very short port. And then his mask. And yes, it's in 3 pieces. He has the collar, the helmet, and the mask here. And I will have to say, I think the sculpt on this mask is probably the best Darth Vader face or mask that Hasbro's ever done. It's got some nice paint apps in here and some nice paint apps there for the eyes. And then on the inside, not really much to see. A little bit of molded detail, but not much. And again, here at the top you can see this and the slightly raised up peg there in the middle that's hidden as part of the decoration, but that all fits together into the helmet. And then it's got these pieces right here on either side that are supposed to fit down in the collar. There's channels in the collar for it, and I'll show you that in a minute. It doesn't work quite like designed, unfortunately. And here's his lightsaber blade, nice translucent red. And it's the newer style with the fat post. at the bottom, so less likely to break. Not saying that it won't break, less likely to break. And then here, of course, we have his lightsaber hilt. Looks like it's molded in black plastic, and then has several little silver paint apps on it, and it looks pretty good, I have to say. And then again, you've got this D-ring piece on it as well, and then you can't really see the port for the lightsaber blade in there, but it is in there. Now let's take a look at the figure himself. And first of all, I have to say, the soft goods, the soft goods themselves are decent. They're a nice thickness for this scale of action figure. There's just a lot of it. You see how far it comes down, and then it's not, at least on mine, it's not up under the chest armor piece there like it should be. There's no chain to hold the cape in. It's literally just has a hole in it and the head and neck peg through it. So, and of course, yeah, it's a nice big, and there's lots of it. And if he had a wire in this cape, it would be awesome. But unfortunately, he does not. And I may have to see if I can get some aftermarket, third party or whatever pieces that have this piece and the cape as a wired set, or even individually. I may have to get them individually, I don't know. But what I can say is again, it's a nice material. It's the thickness of it is good for this scale, and it hangs loose. It's not stiff or anything like that. So, you know, that is good. It's just a lot of it, and as you can see, I mean, it hangs way past his feet. So, but again, I may look into some third-party stuff, or maybe even see if, you know, these can be modified to have a wire sewn into them, and that would be great. Now let's take a look at the rest of the figure. And there's the unmasked head, and I have to say, it doesn't look quite as pale as I remember from the original. Of course, this is the looks more like Anakin head than the original actor, and his name escapes me at the moment. But regardless, it is an unmasked Vader head, and they chose to go the Hayden Christensen route, and that's fine. And at least that's the way it looks to me. It doesn't really look like the original guy. It looks more like Hayden Christensen to me. And it does have a lot of nice little paint apps in there, and some washes, and it's really good looking unmasked Darth Vader head, regardless of who the likeness is. And you can pop the head off, and the collar does come off. It is separate from the head. It is not attached to the head. It's just held in place with the, you know, it goes around the neck, and then the head pops on. But even in this, you can see some nice silver paint apps on the collar piece, and some nice detail, molded detail here in the back, just like we saw in the movie. And then we have on the chest piece, or the chest armor, shoulder armor maybe? No, that's, well, anyway, we've got some nice silver paint apps on here, and it's nice and glossy like he looked in Return of the Jedi, and this is nice and glossy as well, but no paint apps, which I'm pretty sure the upper arm pieces did not have any coloration on them in the movie. And then here we have his control unit, I guess you can call it, for his life support stuff. And it's got some nice paint apps in there with the buttons, and same here on the belt, nice paint apps for the buttons, the belt buckle, any of the buttons over here. And then a lot of this I think is reuse from previous Darth Vaders, and double hinged pinned knee really suggests to me that this, at least from the waist down, is reuse from previous Darth Vader figures. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the legs on even the original Darth Vader, Black Series Darth Vader, you know, were good sculpts. And I mean, it's just like a quilted, leathery looking suit. But then we get down here to the shins and the armor, and you can see some straps. And again, it's all the armor itself might have a little bit of a paint app on it, or it might just have some glossy sheen put on top of the plastic to give it that look. And then, you know, he's just got boots behind that. Let's take a look at his articulation. And he can look up that far, at least with the helmet off. With the helmet on, I don't think it gets that. And then he can look down that far. And he's got chicken neck. And he's got waggle. And he can do the full exorcist. But you gotta straighten the cape back up after that. In the shoulders, I do believe there is some butterfly. Yes, it is. I thought I saw that earlier. So it goes back that far. It goes forward that far. It doesn't really move a whole lot, but it is there. 360 degree rotation there at the shoulder as well. And the arm will raise up at the shoulder well below 90 degrees. But Vader has always had a limited mobility in this suit, so that does make sense. Single hinge and swivel at the elbow, swivels around 360 degrees and gives you way past 90 degrees worth of bend. 360 degree rotation at the wrist, and this one is on up and down hinge. And this one, you get an extra piece of articulation because of this being a removable piece. So it twists right here at the cuff of the glove, and then 360 at the wrist and up and down hinge as well. Now there is no cut in the torso. It is a ball joint there in at the waist, and it will twist, but I can't show you. It'll go 360 degrees, but I can't show you because of the undercloak. It kind of gets caught up in it. So there is that. And then at the hips, he can give you that much of the splits. He can kick forward just about 90 degrees. We'll call that 90 degrees. Back about a half a step, 3/4 of a step. Cut at the upper thigh for a full 360 degree rotation, just like I mentioned before, a double hinge pinned knee. And dang it, he's gonna make me fight with it now because I'm filming. And it gives you that much bend. And then at the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, so just slightly. And then he does have forward-facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as the lightsaber, if you want to store it unignited, on his belt, he does have a little hook right there, and you might have to fight with it a little bit to get it on there, but and of course I said that, so it's just gonna go right on there, but it doesn't, well, I say it doesn't, it may not stay on there the greatest because the hook ain't the biggest and the D-ring is loose on it. And while we're talking about that, and I know this is the way that he carried it, but it just seems odd to carry your lightsaber with the blade. If it accidentally goes off, it's going to skewer you through the head. But Anyway, there is that. Now, as far as giving him the cutoff hand, that just unposts pretty easily. And then you just replace it with the damaged hand, and there you have it. So, there's that. And as far as the lightsaber blade going into the hilt, you'll notice on the blade it does have a slight angle on it, and that does affect how you can put it in. So you just want to make sure the angle on the blade there follows the angle on the hilt, and it stays in there really good. Now let's talk about the helmet. And you can get it to go like it's supposed to. It may not stay if you move the head any after you put it on. It might not stay where you want it. But you can see right there's two little channels along the side where the helmet is designed to go in there. And you just kind of put it on there the best that you can. You might have to hold the collar and just kind of raise it up a little bit. This is not the easiest, and even once you get it on here, it may gap and not look right. You see how it's got the gap on there now? So this, if those had been just a slight bit longer, it would have fit perfect. And of course there is also the chance I'm just doing this wrong. So if you know better, then do better. Or even let me know in the comments. And then again, the helmet, it just kind of goes, and you can feel it when it attaches properly. The helmet, not the mask. The mask just kind of pisses me off a little bit because it just doesn't want to go and stay, and which is a shame because I think this is the best looking Vader head that we've had. This is even before this. I think I like that the Empire Strikes one looks the best, but this one really looks the best, and it's on there pretty good right now, it looks like, but once I go to fiddling with it, it won't stay. But when I think of Darth Vader, this is what I think of. The way this looks right now. It's great. Well, there you have it, my friends. A look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have Star Wars The Black Series Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Darth Vader with the separate mask and helmet piece that are removable, and the collar piece is separate as well. And the original Black Series Return of the Jedi Darth Vader with one piece for the helmet and mask together. Here we have 3 Star Wars The Black Series Darth Vaders. The Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Darth Vader. The A New Hope 40th Anniversary Darth Vader. And the regular edition or regular release Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader. For our final set of comparisons, here we have Star Wars The Black Series Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Darth Vader with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance Stan the Man Lee from the G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander, from Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison, from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on Star Wars The Black Series, Return of the Jedi, 40th Anniversary Darth Vader, I'd have to say this is most impressive and a little disappointing at the same time. Now, the impressive parts, of course, this to me is almost like a Black Series Ultimate Edition of Darth Vader. It's almost there, so to speak. It's just shy of being, you know, what it really needs to be the perfect Black Series Darth Vader. And the issues with it is, of course, you guys know, anybody who's watched my reviews before, soft goods at this point should be wired. It should be a thing. I understand it's probably not because of safety standards and that kind of stuff, but it wired capes and soft goods should really be a thing out of the packaging now. Now that we have that part out of the way, the other, just, I guess, nitpicky issues, but the helmet and the mask, it's not really a nitpick. It just doesn't work as well as it should. And I believe part of it is, I don't think it's the design, I think it's the materials. Just the plastic that they've used for these is just too soft, especially the mask where it connects into the collar. And it just doesn't want to fit up right. And it's a shame because this is, again, like an almost perfect Darth Vader for Return of the Jedi and just for the Black Series in general. Now, I do think there are some reused parts, and that really wouldn't surprise me at all. Especially when it comes to the legs, the double-hinged pinned legs, and I don't want to say those come all the way back from the original Return of the Jedi Darth Vader in the Black Series, but it could be. But more than likely, it's from that more recent 40th Anniversary New Hope Darth Vader. Or there could be some new stuff in there. I don't know. I feel like the legs are definitely reused because of the pins. And the soft goods, the inner robe is just a bit long. And, you know, I think it's going to be okay. It's just like every other Darth Vader, it's just a bit long. And that's really the only issues that I have with it, other than I had to adjust the under cloak because it wasn't lining up properly when they put it on at the factory or something. So anyway, I did have to adjust that, and I may just take it off altogether and see if I can find somebody to add some wires into this cape and cloak for me. I think that would be pretty cool. And again, this Darth Vader is almost there. Had they used a little bit more rigid plastic for the helmet and the mask, I think it would be, you know, it would be there. I think the mask would fit in properly and stay like it should. And Overall, I like this Darth Vader. I think he has the most Return of the Jedi Darth Vader look of any of the released Darth Vaders. Of course, you know, he's supposed to because he's specific to that movie, and there's slight differences in each of the films. Well, that does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews or just help the channel out further, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.